ever noticed that we tend to make things more complicated than they really need to be? Sometimes we think that if things have more features, more categories, more thingamajigs, then they must be better. But that's not always true. I've worked with people who downloaded an app, they categorized all their expenses. It's beautiful, it's perfect, and they started tracking every dollar and keeping receipts, and they promised themselves, this time I'm gonna do this. And for a while, they did. But then life happened, and before long, the budget became just one more thing to keep up with. Today, I want to share with you why I think simple is often better and why I created the Buckets Make Sense budgeting system around that idea. Think about the things that you use on a daily basis, even in your kitchen. The best kitchen tools are usually the simple ones. The best remote controls are the ones with fewer buttons. The best routines are the ones that you can stick with. Why should budgeting be any different? Some budgeting systems ask you to track every single dollar, every receipt, every category, every purchase. Now, if that works for you, wonderful. I know it has worked for a lot of people, but for many, it doesn't. Not because they don't care and not because they're undisciplined, but because they're trying to maintain a system that is simply too time-consuming for most people's lives. I don't believe a budget should feel like a second job. That's why I created the Buckets Make Sense budgeting system. Instead of asking people to organize their money into dozens of categories, I teach them to organize their money into 3 simple buckets. The first bucket is your Pay It bucket. The Pay It bucket is your monthly bills. Instead of organizing those into categories, I organize them according to due date. Why? Because the electric company doesn't care what category it falls into. It cares about what the due date is. A simple due date list of your bills gives clarity instead of complexity. This is where people feel the biggest sense of relief. Instead of tracking groceries, restaurant, gas, coffee, and all your everyday expenses separately, I teach one spend it bucket. One amount, one spending account, one simple boundary. You don't have to wonder whether you have enough in your restaurant fund. You simply know how much you have available for everyday spending. And that's what I mean when I say freedom within a boundary. And then we have the Save It bucket. The Save It bucket helps you prepare for expenses before they happen. Car repair, medical expenses, Christmas, home maintenance. These expenses aren't really surprises. We usually know that they're coming, but we just don't know the exact date. Saving a little bit every month for these expenses turns those stressful moments into manageable ones. So here's what I've learned. The best budgets aren't the fancy ones with all the gadgets and all the bells and whistles. It's the one that you actually continue using. You want it so simple that you're gonna stick with it. A budget sitting perfectly organized inside a budgeting app doesn't help if you stop opening the app. A complicated system isn't successful because it's detailed. It's successful only if it helps you manage your money consistently. That's why I think simple is often better. Simple gives you clarity. Simple reduces stress, and it makes consistency possible. Can I encourage you with something? If you've started budgeting over and over again and it just didn't work, don't assume that it's you. You may simply need a system that's just easier to live with. I've watched people feel very defeated and discouraged because they weren't able to keep up with a complicated budgeting system. Then they switched to a simpler plan and everything changed. Not because they suddenly became disciplined, they finally found a system that worked for real life. I hope that's what Buckets Make Sense becomes for you. A simple plan that is easy to understand, easy to maintain, and simple enough to stick with. So here's my challenge for you this week. Take one area of your finances and simplify it. Just one. Maybe it's listing your bills in due date order. Maybe it's setting up a single spend it account and giving yourself permission to stop tracking every coffee. Maybe it's opening a savings account and starting to put a small amount every month into that, saving for those expenses that are actually expected. Maybe it's opening a savings account and putting a little bit into it each month to prepare for those someday expenses. Start small, start simple. And if you want help getting started, I've linked my free bill cleanup worksheet in the description below. It's the easiest first step. No categories, no tracking, just a clean list of what's due and when. Remember, tracking is out, buckets are in. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.